What's up, guys? I am Jason Lipschutz. I am Billboard's Executive Director of Music, and I'm here to present our final panel of the day. First of all, big round of applause for everybody who helped make our inaugural MusicCon happen. Big round of applause to you guys as well for rocking with us all day. In less than a month, the artist who will be joining me on this stage in a second will kick off a 52-arena international tour in support of an album called Mainstream Sellout, which topped the Billboard 200 albums chart earlier this year. A lot of people, including myself, are very excited about this tour. It's going to be one of the biggest tours of the year, and today we're going to dig into the past, present, and future of their live show. So, without any further ado, please welcome Baze on the bass, Rook on the drums, Slim on the keys, Just on guitar, and of course, Machine Gun Kelly. All right, thank you guys all for joining us. As you guys can see behind you on this big screen, this panel is called A Decade of Touring. A decade's a long time. How long have you guys all known each other?
Some of us, 13 years. That math is probably wrong. Since like senior in high school, and then other of us 10 years, and then Justin about a year. He makes up for it with his years of guitar shredding and other areas. So he actually was first time we saw him, he was on tour with Lil Wayne in this gnarly top hat, just in his own world. So, and we stole him.
That's awesome. What like you guys have most of you guys have known each other for a long time. Like, what were your first impressions of each other?
Can I stop you real quick?
Yeah.
We have a movie coming out. Like, thank you.
Yep.
But I just wanted to post one thing real quick. You think the caption should be "Made a movie with my friends"? Okay. Made a movie with my friends. Good morning. Popcorn emoji. Movie emoji. 5/20. 5. Or maybe I should say May 20th. May 20th. Give me 5 seconds. Hold on.
Take your time. Everybody should be following him so you can see this post in real time, by the way.
Yeah, facts.
I'm not even hit.
Should I say made a movie with my friends? Should I made a comedy? Should made a movie?
No, made a movie.
It's made a movie.
Okay. Damn, look who popped up on my feed, man. Look at you.
Oh, yeah, I just posted too.
Too fresh.
Go, Slim.
You guys enjoying
Sexy
Billboard
ass.
MusicCon. Yeah, so what was your first impressions of each other when you guys
Hated him.
hated them?
Always known this guy.
God damn it. You know when you post it and the caption separates the lines like
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like the space. I wish they would show you the spacing. It just goes, made a movie with my friends. Good morning. ...
The movie's good. Like, that's what that communicates.
It looks like that's what I said.
Yeah.
Made a movie with my friends. Good. Fuck you, dude. Should I edit it? Leave it. It's fine. Well, me and Slim instantly moved in with each other right when we met. In a way that was very much untraditional. Like I pulled up in a U-Haul to his mom's house and was kind of like, "Hey, you've never met me, but I'm stealing your son."
I think we had only known each other like a month.
Yeah, a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Still
yeah,
a while.
instantly clicked and kind of immediately had the same dream. Like he was a producer. He had produced some of like the big street singles on our side of town that were popping in like the clubs, even though we weren't even old enough to get into the clubs.
Yeah. It was popping though.
Yeah, and then Rook, just probably the most legendary introduction. He Slim called him because we saw videos of him drumming in his basement, and he would like he looked like what's the dude you look like from Sesame Street?
Animal.
Oh, Animal from Sesame Street. Like his arms would always wave.
Wow.
And sticks were flying everywhere. And Slim called him in high school, and he was like, "Hey, like we're about to go on tour. MGK wants to meet you. You know, do you want to come up here and audition?" This fool told his teacher, "I'm going to the bathroom," left his backpack and just got in the car and came over and never went back to high school. And he's been with us since.
That's amazing.
He actually just got his high school diploma.
Hey, congrats.
Nah,
I
no, I didn't. I'm fucking with you.
Oh, you really got me there.
He got his rock star diploma. That's all that
Yes,
matters.
sir.
Baze, we met another interesting way. Like we met when we were doing these huge shows for 13 people in Buffalo. Buffalo, right?
Buffalo and Rochester. Yeah.
Buffalo and Rochester, and we
Wow.
Oh, I ever hear that? Let's go.
and we again, there was these huge shows. All 13 people were there, and he had, after the show was over, it was like the venues were so small there wasn't even a dressing room. So we were just like, we would get done and we would go down and just like talk with everybody, and yeah, he was just like, he saw us talking to 13 people. Then he opened up for us in Rochester with his band. And then I got in the studio with him and Slim a couple years later, made a mixtape called Black Flag. And then yeah, he joined the band, and me and him like to do he liked to do psychedelics, I like to do psychedelics, so we just bonded real hard through tabs of acid.
That was a long.
We are in Las Vegas. That is true. So yeah, I was gonna ask like what bonded you together besides psychedelics. What kind of music were you guys into? What kind of music did you guys talk about? What kind of music did you guys like to see live?
Rook brings us to some interesting.
Rook got weird shows that he likes.
Yeah, he'll.
Wait, weird in what way?
His taste leads us to places that we're kind of like ready to go as soon as we get there. But me and Slim, like, we used to do like the Ohio circuit, and like we would love to see like Gucci Mane live, or like any show that started past 2 a.m.
Yeah. That we had to sneak into.
Yeah, right. On tour though, I think we all got really close just because we would be in a lot of human situations that we found out each other's loyalty with each other. So like, fights, when everyone jumps in, you're like, oh man, they got my back for real. When someone's going through like a family issue, they jump in, oh my God, you got my back for real. I don't know, financial issue. I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't want to be like. Well, one time I always remember, and you can attest to this. All y'all can with how like Baze is. Like I had a flat tire somewhere in a really inconvenient place, and Baze drove out there, fixed my tire. I still to this day don't know how to call AAA or like tell them where I'm at or like how to do it.
Anytime something go wrong, he called one of us first before he called.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't call insurance. I don't call
AAA.
cops. I don't
Okay.
call. I call my boys.
Call the band.
Yeah.
I I'm curious, just you guys have been together for years now. Just in terms, like, let's get to you guys performing and the growth and the cohesion of your sound today. I mean, you're about to head out on a massive arena tour. Like, you know, where, like, does it just take time? Does it just take a ton of reps to get to a place where you're like, okay, we're congealing as a band, like we actually are locked in together? Like, what has that process been like for you guys over the years?
The process is, I think, most importantly is just getting those reps up, right? Rehearsing with each other a lot, getting together. Like for this tour right now, our tour starts in June, and we've been rehearsing for a month already, just to, just as a band, just to get ready and perfect our craft.
Is there almost like an unspoken language when you're in like rehearsals, when you're on stage, just like tweaking things, perfecting things? Like, do you guys almost have like a second hand of how you want to run your show?
He's the hardest critic. Kels is probably the hardest critic. We'll have an amazing show, 100,000 people, and he'll figure out one thing that didn't go right, and we'll critique that. But that's the beauty in it, though, because he's a perfectionist, and we all like to, be at our best, and we don't like to cut slack on it.
Have you always been that way? Like just a hard critic on yourself and your
I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on my bandmates. Kind of I watch movies like James Brown, or like see things or hear things about Prince or whatever, and like it always resonates with me, and I almost don't want it to be that way, because it seems a little bit like it's hard, because these are my brothers, and like they're all the guys that I look up to in my life. But for some reason, when like the work hat's on, I'm really adamant about perfection, when I also hate perfection, so I don't know why I get so anal about it. But it's probably just because we are brothers too, and like family fights and stuff. And I think one of the biggest changes in my performance and in my career as an artist probably came from an argument that Slim and I had. I won't like repeat the things that we said to each other, but it was like down to the like just we had so many people between us, we couldn't actually like fight each other, but we were I was throwing my guitar stand, he broke my guitar. We were trying to get at each other, and it was all over like something that I needed to hear, but I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear it to push me to become better, and it led me to become a much greater musician than I was. And because I think for a minute you kind of get caught up thinking that cliche as it sounds, but like rock star lifestyle, you think that is enough. But while I love like certain moments from people, like my favorite moments from musicians are always actually the music, so that got to come first. And I felt like when I decided to put the music first and leave the lifestyle to just be like, if it's genuinely something that I'm feeling or want to do, then I'll do it. But if not, then there's no need to force it. I actually encourage the next generation of artists. There's so many talented musicians that you can see online and stuff, but so many of the ones in the mainstream light gave up on being raw and messing up in front of the camera, or not sounding perfect. And it really pisses me off, because it's your job to be vulnerable and be imperfect. Like you shouldn't put these filters on your music to make it. It's like you shouldn't face tune your music. And we've denied every award show that offers us a chance to go on and like either fake play our instruments or not sing our shit. And I watched so many artists that I thought I looked up to cave in and just do it because it'll sound better. but I don't want to sound better. I want to sound like how I sounded that day. That's why we're doing it that day, you know. And then. And honestly, if you want to sound perfect, then like let the robots play. Like let a robot play the guitar. That motherfucker will play that shit to the T of how he's programmed, or she is whatever the robot's gender is. But like the importance of humanization in music right now is so crucial, because we are relying more and more. Like COVID happened, and that's when like in-home performances started happening, and that was when you could start controlling your sound. That was when you could. That was the moment when late night shows and award shows started accepting what you were curating at your house. But when you're at your house and you have the ability to be like, oh, it didn't sound good. Let's just do this like 6 more takes, and this didn't. Let's move this on the grid to sound better. Dude, it was everyone. If you watch the difference in award show performances before COVID and after, like they became perfect. But I don't want to hear you be perfect, because I want to hear a human. I don't want to hear a robot. And if you're letting it be all up to the computers and you being able to like engineer you to sound perfect, then you know it's all artificial, which is not what I dig.
This is a good time to point out that these guys are performing at the Billboard Music Awards in a couple nights. Very excited about that. You talked about artists that you admired for their imperfections, and you know, in terms of that kind of raw authenticity. For all of you guys, like, who are some performers you admired growing up in terms of just like going to shows? I mean, you talked a little bit about what kinds of shows you wanted to go to, but like, just in terms of like going to see a concert, being like, holy shit, they're leaving their whole heart out on the floor. Like, who were some of the artists that kind of triggered that for you guys?
I grew up going to a lot of classic rock shows with my dad. That was like a time that we spent together. So I mean, I grew up watching stuff like Queen, REO Speedwagon, the Eagles, stuff like that. But it wasn't really until I went and saw a live punk show, exactly where I opened up for him 10 years later, that I saw the power of like real rock and roll. And I think at that moment I kind of always wanted to emulate that, kind of do it myself.
I used to always have DVDs. I loved that like Tupac Live at House of Blues in LA DVD, because it was so raw. And you know, a lot of people, when they tape their live show DVDs, I remember I saw this one band, I was like, God, they sound so good. And they were like, oh yeah, that's because they filmed it 3 nights in a row. So they got to piece together between each show, and they wore the same outfit at all 3 of the shows, so they could piece together from each show. But the Tupac one was just like, it was exactly how the night was, and there was like a lot of missed lyrics, but it was because he was like having fun, or like because his mind was somewhere, and I thought that was so special. I love this Rage Against the Machine performance of Killing the Name of, I think it was in like 1998. I forgot what festival it was, maybe Lollapalooza, but I was like mind blown by whatever zone he was in. The only artist I've ever seen be perfect is Prince. And like, it came down to when you watched him at the Super Bowl and it was raining and he was in heels and the stage was slippery and he played the like most perfect guitar solo for Purple Rain. It was just like, I don't know, we needed to like push his skin and see if there was metal under there. That dude was a fucking robot for real, but like a godsend. That was epic. And I like, we toured with Tech Nine and saw one of the most like precise shows.
Yeah, we took it.
We learned a lot.
We took a lot
Tech.
from that tour. That, you know, because we got by. We did the main thing about us was we had the illest live performances. So we would get booked. We didn't even have that good of music, but we were so good live.
Yeah, we didn't have any music at some point. There was one point where we were like full touring with like no singles or anything. We were just like, I heard they're sick. I don't know what the fuck
got
they
50
do.
shows this year, but
Yeah.
all right, here we go.
Yeah, and a lot of that too was like in Rook's showmanship. He was just this brilliant drummer to watch, and he really helped us go to the next level. I think too, like our ability to read the crowd and be like, oh, we should do a cover. Like we were playing Warp the same year that we were opening for Tech, and then we were on the year before that, actually, we were on Warped on a much smaller stage. It's called Ernie Ball. It's like a truck that folds out into a flatbed stage.
Yeah, it's not even like the audience is just people walking by.
Yeah, they put you. It's like if they put you in the hallway between two stages. So we were like the hallway act. Like as you walk to the next stage, you like
only
pass
want to
by
play that
this.
stage one time.
Yeah. And we would always make people stay though. They would be walking to that stage, but they would be like, and that came down to things when I was like, I don't think they're gonna stop. Like I got to do something, and I would like take my clothes off and just be in my boxers, and I have this like lanky, stupid looking body that like, that I was like, this will stop. I look like an alien or something, but it would stop people because they'd be like, bro, why is this dude up there with his pants off?
Hey, I was like, fuck it, I'm going pants
Yeah,
off
you did
too.
it. Yeah, you did it a couple times.
Wow.
There's actual footage and pictures of this, by the way.
And so it was just like, how can we get people to stop? And then, then we started to like get booked on festivals, and it would be at festivals, this is an interesting fact, like they don't turn on the cameras that you see for like the YouTube videos when you watch people's festivals performances until you have like the 3 or 4 p.m. slot. So if you have like the 12 p.m. slot, 1 p.m. slot, all that, your videos aren't on there yet. So we started out in those time slots, and we would be like, pride ourselves on how fucked up we could get and go out there and just be like, blah. And then when we started getting those 3, 4 p.m. time slots, and we were still as fucked up as we were, we'd go out there and we'd be like, blah. And then we watched the YouTube videos back. We were like, finally, we got one of the YouTube videos. And then we were like, oh, dude, we sound like shit. And so then we had to start self-critiquing and be like, all right, maybe, 3 bottles of tequila before.
We get off stage like, that was crazy.
That was because we were also still so drunk. We got off and we were like, dude, everyone's gonna freak out about how that was the best show they've ever seen.
And then you take a long look in the mirror. It's like
We just watched the video back and we were like, oh man, I forgot the words of that whole song. Like,
you guys have obviously come a long way from your beginning and putting together, just like feeding off of raw energy to put together a live show. I'm curious because so much of what has defined your career over the past couple years has been subverting expectations. And, I'm curious, as you're putting together, a huge international arena tour right now, like, how much of putting together that show, the set list, the theatrics around it, like how much of it is, what you've learned along the way, how much of it is gut instinct, like how much of it is just like collaboration in terms of you guys all talking like, this doesn't feel right, this transition doesn't feel like, what is that like now that you're at this point in your careers?
They handle the music, I handle the fans, like how we're going to maintain the connection, because I feel like, the bigger the venues get, the less the connection is, but not in our case. I always am like, how can we get closer to them? How can we really make this an intimate venue and a huge non-intimate venue? How can we make the arenas that are so, they see the exact same seating, exact same walls, all those things the exact same way when they come to watch anybody? And also realizing too, like you see people get satisfied when they reach those levels. They think like, oh, well, we're an arena act, like that's
complacent.
And so, I think we divide and conquer. Like they sit there for 16 hours a day and like make sure that we have a great musical component, because also like the friends and the people that they're around are all musicians in other bands, and so they're all kind of judging each other, and they want to be brilliant musically, and I'm like super adamant about the fan connection.
That's cool. you mentioned the pandemic. You put out a #1 album, Tickets to My Downfall, and yeah, let's get a round of applause for Tickets to My Downfall. Great album. What was it like putting out that album, hitting #1 with that album, really pivotal release in September 2020 when basically the touring world was shut down? Like, what was that month like? What was that time like for you guys?
We were bummed we couldn't perform it. That was kind of like the weirdest thing. Usually you perform, you know, the night the album comes out, you're doing a tour right after that. It was kind of weird to, like the album came out and we were all just like this on a couch. We were like,
Sick. Yeah, I think that was the toughest thing, because that was our highest, the best that we've, you know, ever succeeded. And for us to not go out, and you just gotta just sit in the house, and like people are like, oh, this is crazy, and we're just like, sick, like dope, like. But we, you know, we like to play music, so, you know, we just needed to feel that high of like, yo, you know, the whole time we're making the album, we're like, yo, during the show it's gonna go like this, or everybody's gonna sing like this, and the album came out and it's like, there's no shows.
yeah,
Yeah, it must have just been a bummer, and especially because it wasn't like we can play shows in a couple months. Like, it, you know, just now it's opening back up, and I was gonna ask, just in terms of mainstream sellout. It sounds like you listen to this album, there are so many songs, paper cuts to Twin Flame to kind of like, you know, Emo Girl. Like, there are so many songs that feel like they were written to be performed live. Like,
remember how mad people got when Emo Girl came out?
She remembers. Yeah.
Joke's on you.
See ya.
See ya. But yeah, what I mean, just in terms of like writing for the shit, like, is that something that's always in your mind of just putting together these songs?
What, pissing people off or making people happy? Because,
well, yeah, just in terms of like when you're writing these songs, like, are you immediately thinking, okay, this is how they're gonna play out live, this is how I'm gonna arrange it?
yeah, I'm like I can't, like, even like sitting here, I'm like, I just need to like walk.
Stand up.
But like,
Go.
I when I'm in the studio, I'm like play it loud, and I'm like always shaking my head, and I'm always like air guitaring or like doing rap hands, or like I only see the crowd every time.
So you can keep going if it's working, man.
You know, also, but I also realized that you can't perform in front of everybody. So, you know, I had to like buckle down and start making music that I was like, okay, without the help of our live performance, which is carried. Like I said, we were, like Slim said, we were booked because we were such great performers before we had big songs. And so I kind of didn't want to rely on the performance anymore, and I want to make albums. We want to make albums that people can just like sit in their rooms or their headphones with and feel the same way that they would feel if they saw it live. Because, you know, we did India for the first time, I think a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Yeah. 6 years, I don't know.
It's right before the
yeah.
COVID.
So like 2 years ago. And dude, what if we never went to India? Those kids still gotta. I want them to still hear the music and enjoy it the same way. What was the question? Ask me something different.
He said, "Ask me something."
Let me ask you this. I'm sure out here in the crowd and people watching, there's a lot of artists. They're thinking about putting together a really powerful live show. What advice would you guys give them, just in terms of, you know, your craft, putting together a killer live show?
I would say have a vision.
have a vision of what you want to say, what you want to show. Be very intentional and have fun with it. You know, it takes a lot of work, but you really have to trust yourself too, because everybody up here, like, we're super talented, and I'm sure everybody believes that they're talented in their own right. Just gotta believe in that, and you know, tune out all the noise. Focus in, have a vision, see it through.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting was the Outkast Coachella performance where they were in that like big box. I think Kanye always does a great job of giving us like eras and performances that stick out and that you remember. I remember even one time we saw Tool, and the whole time he was just doing it like this, like you're the crowd, and he was like this. And it made a lot of people angry because they were like, "Show us your fucking face." But I liked it. I liked that it made you feel something. And
You gotta hit him one time.
and I like that. I really like the visuals that, you know, this generation of artists, from the rappers to the rockers to the R&B to even the choreo. Now, you know, Lil Nas is doing a great job with like choreo and like fun, entertaining spectacles to watch, and I like your eyes are so that's why so many people watch movies like way more than they listen to music, because like your eyes are really important to how you feel, and so it's important to also, you know, give them something visually to remember. So I really like that, but don't get carried away with just visuals. Like, I can't tell you how many of the bands that we went to watch, I'm like, who's playing the guitar right now though? It was like, these people, like, I can't hear, I want to hear it, you know, I want to hear it live. I get a lot of shit. I just get a lot of shit. I don't even understand it, but I get a lot of shit in the guitar world because you can hear my guitar and maybe like,
How dare you?
Yeah,
dare
weird, but it's like, but you're not playing it the way we want. It's like, my dude, like, I'm playing it, and I have the confidence to go to the sound mixer and be like, I'm not the greatest guitar player, but turn me the fuck up so they can hear everything. Like, they can at least hear my personality in that moment. So, you know, I encourage not to. I also, I don't really like how the internet takes people's performances. I saw they were like tearing this one singer apart the other day just because she, you know, didn't hit the right note or something. But like, she's singing, man. She's singing her ass off. And I'm sure there was an hour and a half of her nailing every other note. And they chose this like 5-second clip just to tear her down. And I didn't like that. I don't like the haha laugh at this person mentality that, you know, we've grown to have. Like, you go watch all these people that we're taught that are so legendary and iconic in our minds, and dude, like, you go watch Jimmy or you watch Kurt, they didn't give a shit how they were like sound, you know, how they were sounding. There was plenty of the show where they were spot on, but there was this one Reading performance, Reading or Leeds, that Kurt just played all the wrong notes on Teen Spirit because he was just protesting the song. But I feel like if you did that nowadays, people would be like, "Oh, dude, look how much he sucks." Like, but it's cool that he's like protesting the biggest song that he has, or that he's just like, this today I feel like fuck everything, and he purposely played all the wrong notes. I thought that was really, I think it just makes it fun. It becomes like really stale. So, you know, it'd be nice if people just kind of let musicians go back to being comfortable fucking up, or not even fucking up, maybe they're fucking up on purpose. I know I've done that. I know I go out there and sometimes I'm like, fuck you. Because they told me, like, oh, well, you guys can't do this, or you have to do it our way. And that's like my little protest that I have, at least in my head, is that one little, this is for me. You know?
He knows.
And he's the fucking shredder anyway. You know what I mean? He'll play all the fucking.
We a team.
Let me tell you how my day's going with my little.
I want to wrap up with a couple quick questions, some rapid fire questions, some fun questions to, preview the tour a little bit. First is, and any of you guys feel free to jump in. First is song on the new album you're most excited to play live. You have one song?
I think God Save Me.
It's a good one.
Born with Horns for me.
Oh yeah, Born with Horns. I can name like 5.
I concur with Born with Horns.
5150.
I like Fake Love.
Fake Love. Yeah, that's a banger. Yeah.
What you mean, really? You trying to say it's whack?
Really?
It's like, really? That's
all for that one.
Why?
Yeah.
He's smooth.
No solo in it.
He's smooth. That
He's the
fits.
smooth. That's why he like it.
He's like, yeah, I like that.
Fake love.
Yeah. Fake love.
Well, judging by the woos, 5150 gotta go in the set for sure.
There you go. Again, any of you guys can jump in on this. Craziest thing you've seen in an MGK crowd?
Dude.
What's the limit?
Remember that one?
Let's
dude?
keep it
I'm just joking.
maybe
Yeah,
like
The
a
PG version is like.
PG.
Remember that one
13?
dude? Remember that one dude who like would bring the head on a stick all the time?
Yeah,
Had a name too.
But
I
like
can't remember the
it would
name.
be like the 60,000 people festival crowds, but he won because we would always see that
See his
head.
head out there.
Or like when someone throws their leg on stage.
Oh,
the
Prosthetic.
prosthetic leg.
The
Yeah.
prosthetic leg, yeah.
That's crazy.
Or
Remember-
the one? Okay.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I love when I see people just defy I defy like limits that they think, or that like their doctors or something are telling them, like when you see like someone in a wheelchair like crowd surfing, with their chair. I love that's so beautiful to me, you know what I mean? Because I don't think anyone should miss out on anything. I know that doctors, when I had a broken leg, they were like, stay in the house. I was like, got you. Next day, flew to Michigan, started the start of the tour. And they were like, all right, we'll just sit in the chair. And I was like, yeah, I got you, no problem. Got on stage and I was like, I love things like that.
Next thing, so for those who don't know, you guys are wrapping your North American tour with a stadium show in Cleveland, which is very dope. So, question is, feeling you'll get when you step on that stage.
His mom works there, so it's like,
Really?
When
She's one of the supervisors there, so she low-key gives me like all the back end. She's like, you guys got this many tickets sold. This is what's going on.
yeah.
This.
I think we learned we were performing there from her. She
Yeah,
was like,
she
I
told
saw you guys' name on the schedule, and I was like, and what's cool about that show is that's the last venue in Cleveland that we haven't performed at.
Wow.
That's the last one that we have in our hometown to like conquer, and
Biggest one.
it's the biggest one, and I think that we've sold the most tickets of,
Yeah,
I don't want to say it yet,
I
but
don't know. Yeah, but
I don't
they're
want to
excited.
I don't want to jinx it, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be something kind of legendary about what's happening with that night. So as far as like, most tickets sold from our, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think our competition is like Taylor Swift, which is very. That's hard comp, you know what I mean?
Last one. Touring bucket list for you guys. Just anything you haven't done yet, might not do on this tour, want to do someday in the future.
I know this for sure.
Go ahead.
What's yours?
I haven't thought about that yet.
Think about it.
I want to think about it. Go ahead.
What about you?
What was it? Say it again.
Was it?
Is Rook here?
I was for a second.
What's your bucket list for touring? Like, what do you want to do?
Like what venue?
No, just like
Anything.
in general. You want me to start with mine?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to perform all 7 continents, and then I want to perform in the ocean, like underwater. I don't think anyone's done that. I want to be the first artist to perform like, and dude, I have this weird feeling that we're gonna do it, and all these like sharks and pufferfish are gonna pull up and be like,
We figure out they all got a personality now.
of course they got personality, dude. You ever watch Finding Nemo? All those fuckers are down there talking about like what's going on. They're gonna be, I'm telling you, we're gonna see turtles. I feel like we're gonna be on some Aquaman, like as soon as the first chord comes, like little fish are gonna come out like.
I feel like you've thought about this for a long time, and I really
Yeah, call my agent. I called him. I said, get a pen. I called him a week ago. I said, get a pen out. And he was like, I'm sleeping. I'm like, get a pen. And I was like, bucket list, perform in the ocean, 4 fish.
He's like, I can get you a lake. Here's ocean.
That
like,
sounds
maybe
like him
there's-
too. I can get you a lake.
Yeah.
We can do a lake, Colson.
Maybe there's like a little scuba diver who's just like, you know? Scuba Steve. Maybe like Atlantis will rise from the bottom. We'll be sick. I don't know. What about you?
It's hard to top that.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
It's either that or
I've not thought
space.
about
Like
yeah,
that's it.
Like, let's go to
Yeah,
space.
that's space. I would love to play like floating.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
let's shoot the space.
That's
I don't know
cool.
if my fingers would even move, or, but I want to see.
I love the ambition.
What about you?
Yeah, go ahead.
A concert in your beard?
That would be sick. I think there's enough room for it, honestly. No, honestly, I remember the first time we went to Madison Square Garden was for the Jingle Ball, and they wanted us to mime it, and we said, no, we're gonna come back and we're gonna play this when we're supposed to. And on this tour,
Oh yeah, they told us to
and
fake,
so, yeah, we
They
fake
told
play
us.
perform, so
They told us to fake play.
They said you guys can perform, but
You won't be.
you won't be live.
And we said, nah.
even
I'm
though it's
good, bro.
MSG, we were like, nah, we'll come back and do this. And on this next tour, we sold it out 2 nights in a row.
Yeah,
Go.
Bucket list,
bucket what?
perform on the Grammys.
Performing the Grammys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
Perform at the Billboards, and we got that. Actually, you know what was cool? You guys gave me a bucket list. Actually, I wanted to perform a song that was like not a single or a radio song on an award show, and I won't say what song we're doing, but Billboard gave us the opportunity to perform not a main single and just let us do something that's like a straight, you know, from the heart connection song, which is sick. So thank you. Boop.
One last boop for the road.
I feel like I can't top any of these. I'm just happy to be at this level, playing an arena with my best friends. I think that's the top bucket list that I can't really.
Amen.
Because coming from where we come from and the struggles and the adversity that we had to face, and there were times in our career that we didn't know if this was actually gonna go to where it is now, and here we are with the 6th album coming out with a 7th album. So I think we've accomplished the bucket list.
I think that is the perfect place to end it. We got one more.
Give us
Brooke,
one.
go ahead.
Give us a
It's
drum
crazy 'cause
bucket list.
We've done like a couple stadiums, but there's just something about like arenas are cool, but there's something about the feeling of being in a sold out stadium that like you can't
We
pay
should.
for that feeling.
I think Rolling Stones and Michael Jackson did the most amount of people or whatever. I think it was in Brazil or it was somewhere. It was on a beach and it was like 800,000 or 1 million. That'd be really cool to
Top.
to try and beat like to perform in front of the most amount of people on Earth.
Just don't do that one in the ocean. That's all I. That's all I ask. That
Yeah, I
would
don't
be
know
a
if, like-
safety hazard.
Yeah.
A lot of
1 million
floaties.
people and that could swim for that
Bring
long.
your boat.
We'd break the record for like yeah.
Guys, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank
for
you.
hanging. Big congrats on everything. And tour kicks off next month, so have a blast. And thank you guys again.
Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you guys for the good energy.
guys.
Thank you guys. For real, thanks. Thank you.